Kevin Samuels was great at what he did. You know, he passed away going on this month. It'll be 3 years. He predicted so many things 3 years ago that we see coming into fruition now. He talked about Tracy Youngers Ross, where he said that she will be end up dating younger guys because of her attitude and this modern woman. No high value man will want to deal with her. Now, when he passed away, he had a lot of haters. He had a lot of people that came against him that basically crapped on his grave. They were happy that he passed away. And one of his biggest detractors and biggest haters was Vivica A. Fox. You know, we talking about the woman that's 60 years old that's getting the BBL now at 60 that still don't have a man. Where Kevin Samuels again was right, but this is remember what she said about him.
He was a shock jock, and I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality. Rest in peace.
But on that same stream, you had the old, played out, dried up, and tired Lisa Ray. Another woman that can't keep a man. Another woman that don't have a man that's looking to date younger men. Man, that thing is dried up, and it's an old used car. It's an old Chevy Nova. Nobody wants that. But this is what she said.
I agree with Vivica. I think that sometimes when you are trying to help, it got to come in a kind of way, because we're your kind. We are your type, meaning we're Black. You know what I mean? And we are family. You know what I mean? So when you talk to us, because we as a race have been through so much, and it's almost like talking to us like this does not help us.
And this was all from the show Fox Soul that had Claudia Jordan, Vivica Fox, Lisa Ray, and Selena Johnson, right? Most of these, Vivica Fox, she has sort of a career, but most of these women have failed careers. They were on this show trying to give women advice, and they were mad because women was really tuning in to hear Kevin Samuels. They didn't care nothing about Fox Soul because they knew, these younger women knew that these older women wasn't telling them the truth. And we know that a lot of the older women hate on the younger women because now they have access to the men that these older women want. We know that there's not a sisterhood. These women don't get along. They don't like each other, right? But they damn sure don't like a man saying anything about their imperfections or holding them accountable. We know that for a fact. These modern women. The only woman that really spoke like she had some sense was Selena Johnson, because she's actually married. But let's look at what Claudia Jordan said. Check this out.
I think just because someone passes on, it doesn't mean we just, now we can't say anything negative or honest about you. That's okay, you died. Guess what? Every single person in all these squares and everybody watching is going to die. So we can't be held accountable for the things that we said while we were alive. Listen, I think he has some very valid points. I think people are very unrealistic about relationships. I think a lot of women and a lot of men are. It's not a woman thing and it's not a man thing. But he just so happened to pop when he started coming for Black women, because he did start off being negative towards Black men, and people weren't really trying to hear that. Brothers weren't trying to hear about themselves, but what they were trying to hear about was how it's the women's fault.
Interesting.
So then he blew up, and then our dumbasses went and supported him.
See, this buffoon of an idiot, Claudia Jordan, disrespected so many other women. See, any women that disagreed with them, any woman that disagreed with them, she came up against, right? And she said that they were dumb for going over there and listening to him. Come over here and listen to us. We're women. We can tell you what it is. But no, you're not a man. The women would rather speak to the man because they're actually trying to acquire a man. So they want to know what a man wants. Many times women never really sit back and really analyze what is it that a man wants. They only see it from the perspective of what they want. You sit back and says, well, what is it that your man wants? You ever stop and ask, are you the person that he actually wants? Or you have this vision of what you think things should be? Now, when he died, Marlon Wayans left a heartfelt message after he died, because a lot of men was feeling it, right? And now Claudia said that he once spoke to men, but he was so harsh, men wasn't trying to hear it, right? So, but then he started giving a harsh truth to the women. But in hypocritical fashion, y'all wasn't trying to hear it either. You didn't want to hear the truth, but you was mad because thousands and thousands and thousands of women was tuning in to hear the truth because they got tired of sitting in these echo chambers listening to women talk about nothing that gets them nowhere with men because y'all don't really study or analyze what it is that a man wants. You want a man to take you as is. You think a man should just love you for who you are. You don't want to be accountable. You don't want to change. In order to have a man. That's why a lot of y'all are childless and manless. And you take no accountability and you blame it on everybody. Am I talking about all women? Absolutely not. But those women out there, if it's Sting, I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking about. But Claudia Jordan wasn't finished. She doubled down and even got more harsh by saying this.
I think there is a place for people like Kevin Samuels to say, listen, you're being unrealistic. You have nothing you're bringing to the table and you want this high value man, although Kevin Samuels himself was not a high value man.
And see, the funny thing about these women, they'll say that Kevin Samuels wasn't a high value man, right? So now what Kevin Samuels considered a high value man was a man that made $10,000 a month for at least 3 to 4 years or more. He has a certain company he keeps. He wasn't talking. You couldn't be an athlete, an entertainer. You know what I mean? You had to have access to people of wealth in order to make things happen, right? He talked about those things. Now, people may disagree or agree with what a high value man is, right? I have my own interpretation as a black man in the black community of what a high value man is, and it differs at times from a Kevin Samuels. But you know what? The Claudia Jordans, the Lisa Rays, and all these women, they don't want a high value man because they got a problem with Kevin Samuels. But the actual high value man of the black community, the black man that's consistent, the black man that's there, the black man that's there for his family, they don't want him. They don't want him. They want the men that they can't get. See, this is the hypocrisy of these women, right? You can have a police officer, a firefighter, right? A school teacher, a man making anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 a year that's consistent, that's lovable, that take care of his family, that's 10 toes down, that's legacy, thinking about legacy, career building, wanting to work with you. They don't want him. That's what we would consider a high value man for the black community, right? A consistent man that's there, protection, direction, and correction. They don't want him. She don't want him. She want the man that owned the bus company. She want the man that got all these options that don't want her. So this is the hypocrisy when you dealing with these women, right? So they had such a problem with Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels and Tasha K was sort of cool, sort of like allies. And we remember when Kevin Samuels went on to Tasha K's show, they sat down, they had an interview, it was a dope interview. Him and Tasha K was cool, right? And Tasha K, she really didn't like those Fox Soul women over there. She definitely didn't like Claudia Jordan. There was a man on there that was exposing her for being a fraud that she is. She likes to come on and tell everybody else's business, but Tasha K exposed this about her.
With Claudia, why she call you a scammer? But she hit you up.
She hit me up asking.
She just bought a house. She just bought a house not too long ago.
But she had property here in LA that she was renting. So the girls would hit me up and be like, hey, David, I need this done. I need this type of paperwork done. And, you know, I'm all for helping the girls who got bad credit or got criminal convictions or whatever they got going on, get housing.
So what did you do for Scratchy Cat?
Baby, I did some bank statements. It was right in this picture. We had met up, and Annie right there, and that's Tamar, and that's Claudia.
What you put on the bank statement? What you took her from a what to a what? What you made it look like she made?
I made her look like she had a couple of $100,000 in her bank account. And I hit her up on Instagram. I was like, girl, all that you talking, you act like you don't remember what you asked me to do for you. Them bank statements I did so you can qualify for those apartments when you first got on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That apartment in the high rise. And you know, that's Kenya homegirl and everything. But baby, don't sit there and throw stones in glass houses, baby.
Funny thing is, this Claudia Jordan is the woman that has to falsify bank statements in order to get a home. Like, she's a liar. She doesn't stand on business. She has no integrity, right? Kevin Samuels, when he came out, I used to debate the Manosphere guys a lot. You know, O'Shea Duke Jackson used to have the Sunday Rumble and BGS channel. And I would go back and forth with Kevin Samuels before he blew up, right? I already knew who he was. When Kevin Samuels came out, he was speaking to a specific group of women. He wasn't speaking to all women. This is where Claudia Jordan, Vivica Fox, Lisa Ray is full of crap. Because if you listen to his show, night after night, thousands of women would come on in and just crap on men, regular men. They only wanted the 1% of man. They didn't want the school teacher. They didn't want the bus driver. They didn't want the police officer. They didn't want the physical therapist. They didn't want they wanted the guy that's making high 6 to 7 figures to 8 figures. They wanted the guy that has options of all women. And Kevin Samuels will always say, "How you going to build a community if what about the blue collar guy? Oh, well, I'm settling for him." So he was getting at those women because they was really thinking that they were settling for a blue collar guy as if they're all of that. And he was saying, "Well, wait a minute, you got 2 children and your baby father worked at Kenny's shoes." He was exposing these women and their unrealistic ideas of what a relationship would be. And he was saying that you have to qualify to be, do you qualify to be with the man that you actually desire and want? You want that 1% of man, but what does that 1% of man want? Does he want you? They knew that, but they was upset because he was calling that out. Because I'm Vivica Fox, I'm Claudia Jordan. I can get any man I want. No, you can't, because if you could, you would. But you can't, so you ain't. No, you couldn't. And he was exposing that. And what happened was thousands of women was tuning in because they were starting to hear this truth, and that truth was resonating. And they wanted to hear more so that way they can acquire the man that they want. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I should stop looking for that man way above there because I got this man that want to love me right here. And I keep overlooking him. I keep messing up and looking at. I don't understand the difference between options and opportunities. You have a lot of options to get sex, but how many opportunities did you have to be a wife? But that blue collar guy that worked at the plant, that welder, the iron worker, those guys that make 6 figures too, right? They're willing to give you a shot and give you a shot to be a wife, but you keep looking over him, right? And Kevin Samuels was like, "No, that's your man right there, and let's make families and build a community." They didn't like that because they wanted to continue to keep lying to women. So what they did was they wanted to crap on Kevin Samuels. But you see this woman, in the future, she's doing all kinds of fraud, all kinds of check stuff. All these women are fake. You got Vivica Fox at 60 years old, getting her butt done. Lisa Ray looked like an old man. Claudia Jordan still looked like something, but she full of crap. And I'm telling you, young girls out here, do not follow behind these women. You will be old, dried up womb, and miserable. Do not follow behind these women. Because Kevin Samuels predicted all of this. Selena was over there really being quiet because she got a husband that actually agrees with Kevin. That's why she was being quiet. Because she knew that he was right in a lot of actual sense of what he was saying. The whole aspect was, if you go back and listen to those shows, those women was crapping on the blue collar guy. Your father's out there saying that to get with a guy that's like your father that raised you, I'm settling for him. You settling, and that was the whole gist of the darn show, right? And talking to women, uplifting a high value man, and explaining to women, if you think that you're qualified for a high value man, what makes you qualify? But listen, these women, Claudia Jordan, all these women, they celebrated his death, but they all broke, busted, disgusted. And you can see them all. Tracy Ellis Ross, all of them, man. He predicted this. But I'm going to cut this video short. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.